I've been reflecting this morning on the season we just came through. That's, season of Easter, season where we celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. And in the church calendar, that's a really high point of when we worship. And the point that comes after that is the point of Pentecost, which we celebrate in first weekend of June. We realize that Jesus, when he rose from the dead, he appeared, it says in the book of Acts, for about 40 days. And we understand that Pentecost usually is translated 50, meaning that this was the 50th day after the Feast of Passover, in which Jesus was crucified, died, buried, resurrected. And there's a certain anticipation you think of when you know something is coming. And we practiced a time of prayer through the season of Lent, which is 40 days leading up to Good Friday, not including Sundays. And there's anticipation of what God would do through that prayer time, through the Easter service, through that time of preparation. Much like I think now, we enter this season of anticipation of, God, what are you going to do now? How are you going to change our hearts? How are you going to make us more like yourself? How are you going to radically touch us? How are you going to radically impact us? And we kind of look forward to the next season, which is that day of Pentecost. And it's very similar. There's 40 days that Jesus was on the earth, 40 days that we spent doing Lent and praying and fasting and giving things up. And I have a great anticipation for what the Lord has yet to do in my life and in the life of our church and the life of our communities. And we find in Lent, we chose to give things up. But there's an anticipation when you get to receive that thing again, much like I believe there's an anticipation for what God wants to do through his Spirit and his church. So today I'm standing in front of Starbucks for the first time. I'm going to have a coffee. Of course, I only drink decaf. I don't need the extra caffeine. But I have an anticipation for the Starbucks, much like I have anticipation for what God's going to do in the next season in my life and the life of our church. So God bless. We'd love to have you come to Sunrise, Highway 10 and 188 in Surrey. And if you're with us, come join us at 9:30 for prayer and just see God begin to impact lives and change this community.